That was awesome.
Welcome to Philo TV's Twitch channel.
Yeah.
We are here doing a special little thing, and if you'd like to stick around with us and watch the whole thing, we would really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I've been streaming on Twitch for just over a year. I think we have 75 followers or something almost on this channel.
Nice.
And I figured this would be a great place for me and NALO to start streaming our podcasts, and it'd just be kind of a cool thing to mix in with my regular streams, I think.
I agree with that.
And for the podcast listeners, this is going to be a pretty cool episode, I think. We're talking about some more tech, kind of like we did with that Apple episode.
Yeah, we like that.
Yeah.
That was good. That was fun.
And I had a lot of great feedback on the tech episode, and I think that's something that we'll talk about a lot more here with our podcast and on Twitch, of course.
Something me and you are very interested in anyway, so, the tech side of everything. It's Techtober.
It's Techtober, guys.
It's Techtober. So I wanted to say, hey, this is my first time streaming with you guys on Philo TV, and this is really, really cool. It's good to be here. Thanks, subscribers and followers for Philo TV, and welcome to the Oh Yeah podcast with NALO and Phil.
The Oh Yeah podcast.
That's right. This is actually episode 3 of the Oh Yeah podcast, which used to be a different podcast, and now it's kind of merged into one, and this is just another step in that process that's really just making things great for us. So this is our TECHtoberfest episode?
TECHtoberfest episode. And as you guys can probably see,
yes, we have
some
Oktoberfest
Steins, is what these are called.
Yeah,
NALO?
the beer Steins. Yours is more like a mug. Yours is
well,
but
bummer.
it's
Hey,
it's a glass
it holds
container
beer
with a handle on it. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see mine. There is Hofbrauhaus official Oktoberfest mug there. And this is designed specifically to hold 2 beers as opposed to the one over there. So
you can double fist it without double fisting it.
But, as a special treat, because this is the Techtoberfest episode, I love that. Look at this graphic. Okay, it took me 4 hours to make this. Just kidding. Okay, so we are drinking Oktoberfest made by Red Lodge Ales. This is the can right here.
Got to support the local boys.
This is local. Of course, we could have done Sam Adams or something like that, but this is Montana brewed, just like us.
Just like us. I was born and raised here.
Yep, Red Lodge Ales just up the road. The theme on it says "Good times, good beer," and that's true. That's just true. That's what it is, and it tastes good too. It does.
Yes, it actually is very good. I'm normally pretty picky on my beers, and this is a pretty good one.
Yum.
Well, going on with the theme of Techtoberfest, we do have to talk about some tech here, NALO.
Yeah, let's do it.
And I'd like to talk about another event that occurred.
Oh, really?
So Microsoft held the same type of event that Apple did.
Yeah.
It looked a lot less budget. Or a lot more... How would you say that? More budget? Less budget?
Definitely less budget.
It looked cheaper is what I meant to say.
They had half the amount to work with.
Oh, definitely. And the room looked about half the size as well.
So who was doing this event? Microsoft?
Yeah, so Microsoft, I think the CEO is Nadella or something. I don't know. I can't remember his name. Anyways.
So what you're saying is in comparison to the Apple one we talked about, where they have their underground layer, basically.
The crazy one.
The underground layer, it's all, there's trolls and things living down there.
Yeah.
But compared to that, it was just nothing.
Oh, yeah. It was like this baby little stage, and the presenters could literally just take one step down and walk out onto the floor of the event. It was just it seemed it was a little more intimate, I guess.
Yeah,
which was good.
Sure.
But it was a lot less. It definitely looked a lot cheaper. So,
well,
I mean, what are you gonna do? Microsoft doesn't make as much money as Apple does, I don't think.
Well, I mean, I guess it's just not up on their level of what's important to them, I guess. Or maybe, they could have just had the same kind of mindset of it being, intimate, like you said.
Yeah. And they could have also, I guess, been thinking, hey, our products sell themselves. We don't need a big event to tell everybody about it. Maybe they're just being egotistical about it.
Maybe they don't want to copy somebody and they're just doing their own thing.
True. But enough about being skeptical about what they could be doing or what they couldn't be doing and trying to get in their heads. Let's talk about the event, the Microsoft event. The first thing they came out with was the Surface Laptop 3, at least the first thing they talked about in the event. They have a new 15-inch version of this Surface laptop. I think they did have a 15-inch at least once before, but this one was absolutely beautiful.
So they're bringing back a 15-inch?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
And they have an Intel chip in the 13-inch, and get this is weird. They have an AMD chip, which is the complete opposite company, in their 15-inch.
Like the first time they're doing this, right?
It's the first time probably any computer company's done this.
Oh.
They normally don't have different brands of chips in the same model of computer.
Huh.
So they've got a 13-inch Surface Laptop 3 that's going to have a Intel chip in it. It's specifically made for the Surface Laptop 3. And they also have an AMD Ryzen Surface Edition. Basically, that's the processor that's going to be in the 15-inch, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So this company's developed this chip specifically for the release of the 15-inch.
I believe they worked with the companies that make these chips to specifically make it to do exactly what they want it to do in this device. So a couple of the features that came out on this guy is 20% larger trackpad, just like the MacBooks came out with in their new redesign.
What a beautiful thing that huge trackpad is on my MacBook
And
Pro.
the trackpads on the Surface devices are pretty incredible too. They have the same type of gestures, all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. And I have the Surface Pro. What is this? The Surface Pro 5 or something like that. And the trackpad on it's tiny. It's like a little baby. I could show you right here actually. So this is the trackpad size. It's like baby size. They made it 20% larger than that on the laptop edition of this.
Is it? And it's supposed to be in comparative to the Apple size trackpad?
It's probably a little bit smaller.
Should we
It
see
might be
what
a little
mine
bit
looks
smaller
like?
than that. Yeah, I mean, if you can pick it up and do that. Yeah, so that this right here is the trackpad on that guy. And it's fairly large. I mean, what would you say? You could fit my entire hand across. It's like my hand width across.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty.
It's a hand
pretty
size.
decent.
It's a good size for.
Whoa. I mean, it should fit your hand, right? It's a trackpad, and that's what you're using it. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about these guys, is they have an incredible, elegant design now. They almost look like a MacBook. It's really funny. They're aluminum, or I think the laptop is aluminum. They don't have. So here's a few things that differentiate it from a MacBook.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a rubber bezel around in between the screen and the clamshell.
Yeah.
So you can basically just shut it, and there's nothing in between the screen and the metal, which I
don't know.
assume.
I kind of like it.
I assume that could result in some scratched screens, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with that.
So it's literally screen to
keyboard and metal. That's basically what it is.
Okay.
The other cool thing about this Surface Laptop 3, not that it's new or anything, this is just a feature that it has, is that you can disconnect the keyboard from the actual screen itself.
Yeah.
So you can just pop it right off and use it as a tablet. Basically, it's the Surface series is a 2-in-1 series. So
one thing, this is slightly off subject, because I want to stick with the Microsoft thing.
Yeah.
But what's really cool about this stream that I haven't experienced yet, especially with our podcast, is that you can actually talk to us.
You can talk to us right now.
You're hearing it as it's happening, so we're not recording a podcast to post it later. I mean, well, obviously we are, but we're doing it live right now.
Yeah.
So we got some guys talking to us, and Mark says he wants to show you something 20% larger.
And I would definitely oblige that. And then we had Redeemer 74769 say, "Hey, sup guys? What are y'all talking about?" Well, you'll just have to listen in. Keep watching.
A lot of tech stuff, and my guess is people that are on a Twitch stream are into tech anyway.
Yes, yeah.
So,
most of the time, I would assume. Yeah. So I guess we could just swing right back in. You want to get back into this guy?
Yeah,
right
tell
here?
me about. We were talking about how elegant the design
So
is.
Microsoft was really focused on like the first look feeling you get when you look at this device, the first time you touch it, all that. I guess I don't know what you would call it. The overwhelming
First
sensation you
impression.
get, the first impression that you get
Yeah.
when you see it for the first time, and I thought that was really cool. It honestly, like you look at it on a table, if it didn't have a Microsoft logo on it, you'd think it's an Apple. You would think it's an Apple product.
Yeah, so far, I have a Microsoft Surface also, and it's not impressive, like impressive looking, especially with the keyboard attached to it. It makes it uglier, actually.
It looks almost like a toy.
It does. Yeah. It looks like some little thing that you bought that your grandma made a cover for it. I mean, it literally looks like that compared to the elegance of the MacBook Pro. So if they're stepping their game up there, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Just to stop us here for a second, Mark is asking us a question here. Is that a good thing to imitate Apple? I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or not. I don't know if it's a bad thing either. I think it's awesome because I love the way Apple products look. As a company, it's probably bad to mimic somebody else, but I mean, it is slightly different in very, I guess, iconic ways. So a MacBook has this notch at the bottom, right next to its trackpad, to allow you to get your thumb under the top of the clamshell to open it.
Yeah.
Microsoft has not given you one of those. I hope I don't burp on this podcast.
You probably will.
So that's something that sets them apart. They don't have the rubber bezel in between that I just talked about, so that sets them apart in their design. They don't have, I guess, they don't have a speaker grill anymore. They're going to be firing the speakers right from under the keyboard, which is pretty cool. And the
That is
keyboard
interesting.
has the typical travel that the keyboard has always had from Microsoft. I think it's 1.3 millimeters. So instead of being this short throw key that the MacBook has,
Yeah,
it's got this
tiny.
longer throw that is a lot more. I think it's better to type on. It feels better. People who type on mechanical keyboards like I do every day would probably still not like it as much as a mechanical keyboard, but it's the next best thing on a laptop, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, that's one sad thing about the MacBook Pro on mine is
Yeah.
it feels like almost like a touch screen because the
The keys are so short.
Yeah, they don't
the throw
travel.
is so short.
yeah, you can hardly tell the difference when you're moving over to another key.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
there's no space.
That's
so-
one of the reasons I really like mechanical keyboards because you can
Yeah.
tell where your fingers are actually at.
Sure, yeah. It does feel a little bit too smooth.
Ooh,
So-
like a baby's bottom.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice. I think that's a great plan that Microsoft is going the other way. And Mark, I think it might be a good thing, or maybe they're really not imitating Apple, but they've recognized that Apple is on a different level in this area than they are, and they just stepped it up.
Yeah, and it is a different type of device because technically it's not your MacBook Pro is not a 2-in-1. It doesn't have a touchscreen. So I don't know. It's a different realm of devices, and I think Microsoft's doing pretty good for themselves in the look category.
Yeah.
So they're claiming it's 3 times faster than a MacBook Air, which is like one of those sayings that we were talking about in the Apple episode. Companies always have these funny sayings where they're trying to pick fights with everybody else, and
For sure.
it's funny.
Mark wanted to know if we have if we're drinking Street Fight, but no, we are drinking Oktoberfest lager. And actually, this is what I want to tell you. Oktoberfest is normally a Marzen beer. Okay, so Marzen it was developed in Germany, of course, and it was designed to imitate, just like we're talking about here. It's designed to imitate a beer that was made in Vienna, Switzerland.
Okay.
The Wieners. People from Vienna are Wieners.
Okay.
Or Wieners.
Okay. Venus.
Yeah. So they basically they added a little bit of malt and they call it a Marzen. And this one is a lager. And the main difference between a Marzen and a lager is it has a little less malt and tastes a little bit more bitter, which I actually like in a beer. So
Yeah, I enjoy the taste of this one for sure. It's not very bitter. I mean, I've had bitter beers, and this one is definitely not that. So.
it's a good smooth. It makes for a smooth.
Yeah, it's
drink,
easy drinking.
Yeah.
So
I was excited to try that because I haven't had the Oktoberfest lager yet.
We may not be able to get all the way through all of our notes if we keep drinking this because it's so smooth.
Yeah, very smooth.
So that was one of their claims, the 3 times faster than a MacBook Air. So, well, okay. MacBook Airs aren't that fast, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, cool story.
Yeah, but the 13-inch starts at $999, which is a normal price for a laptop. The storage is 128 gigabytes in that one, and it's the same as the MacBooks. The MacBooks I think start around $999 to $1,099, so like $1,100. The 15-inch is going to start a little bit higher at $1,199, so almost $1,200 there. And they come out, October 22nd, so you could have ordered them the day they did this, or no, we're not even there yet. October 22nd, what am I thinking? October 22nd is, a couple weeks from now? So you could pre-order them on the day that they were doing this event, but you wouldn't get it till the 22nd. I think they're shipping that date.
I think this episode airs on the 21st.
So you'll be able to get it
tomorrow,
shipped to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
But for right now, I guess for our live viewers, it's going to be a little bit of a wait for that guy.
Yeah, for sure.
The next thing that they talked about is the Surface Pro 7. They claimed their big claim on this one. Their big saying was most popular 2-in-1 on the market because it's probably the only 2-in-1 that is like actually good on the market.
Yeah, I agree. It's this has like the one up for Apple anyway. It's like, yeah, you guys make a laptop. We made a cool laptop. It looks similar now. But guess what? We also have a Surface Pro. And, you got cute little track pads on your MacBook Pros.
Yeah, the touch bar.
Oh, wow. You can touch the whole screen.
Yeah, you can touch literally the whole screen.
The entire screen.
Back up off.
Yeah. I think it's cool.
Yeah. They're making a big move, just like Apple did.
Really?
USB-C on these new Surface Pros.
USB-C only? Are they going to have any USB 3.0?
They have a regular USB port as well.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Yeah, so they have their, in place of their mini display port that they normally put on the Surface Pro, they're going to be using a USB-C and a regular USB port, so you can still use your old flash drives if you want to. Or any,
That's good.
Say, if you wanted a better webcam hooked up to it, you could still hook up a regular USB webcam to it. Sorry, I had to do a little burp there. This beer is really getting to me.
Hey, it's smooth.
It is smooth. They have new microphones installed on these bad boys. They're pretty cool. It's a studio microphone setup. It's basically stereo. You've got 2 different microphones, and the quality sounded really good from what they put out, because I was wearing headphones when I was watching the event, and it sounded great to me, but I mean, it was through the event's audio, so they were uploading it to the internet. You never know. You can't know until you're in person with it. But so I thought that was kind of cool, especially because we're always recording, we're always looking at mics, we're always looking at ways to upgrade our systems.
Who's really going to use
stuff,
it though?
So, yeah,
Who's
true.
really going to use the factory?
If you want a good mic, you're going to be. Yeah. But for those Skype calls, for those video conferences, stuff like that, if you wanted to use that mic, you still could, and it's a lot better now. So that's pretty cool. Yeah,
I guess so. I think it has its value.
Yeah, there is a value there. I don't know if it was worth putting in, but they kept the price pretty low. The starting price for this guy is a whopping $749. It's for the 128 gig version. That's it by itself. I don't think it comes with the keyboard and all that kind of stuff. You have to actually buy that separately.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me, please. A couple new things that I thought were really cool. They have new phone call integration for Samsung phones, so you can get your phone calls on your Microsoft device, which doesn't help us Apple users that use Microsoft products. So thanks, Microsoft, for that.
That's true, but what help have I got when I use an Android phone and I have a MacBook computer?
That's true. They're not helping you out there either. I guess, hey, choose your battles.
Yeah, it's
true. You got to
pick
pick them.
I mean, really, honestly, I don't think that people are really going to be connecting that much where it's going to matter them.
True.
Who's going to use their going to be too lazy to pick up their phone and put it onto their ear, or like just push speakerphone, because their phone, guarantee their phone is actually going to have a better speaker on it anyway.
First world problems, am I right?
Yeah. Then you're actually dumbing down the quality probably.
Yeah.
by Making it go to the
Yep.
Surface Pro.
Yep. Because then you're using the mics and the
I mean, maybe you still have like a Galaxy 3 or something, and you're like, oh, yeah. Oh, now
I don't even know if that would be compatible though.
You're probably right. It's
You
probably
never know.
outdated.
Anyways, enough about picking our battles with phones integration and all that kind of stuff. One thing that I thought was really cool that they've done so far, as somebody who's in the space where you go to an office and you use a computer every day and you're on Excel pretty much every day and you're working with Microsoft Word, all the Microsoft products, the Office suite.
Sure.
You can now write on the screen when you're in a Excel document and it will put it into that cell. You can write like 565 and put a $sign and it will format it to dollars and it will put it in that cell. I thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That took a lot of programming, I bet.
Oh, I'm sure. And to be able to recognize people's handwriting, like my handwriting is atrocious, especially on a screen. Like I've tried to write on this thing with like the OneNote application, and it's fairly difficult to make your handwriting look good on this thing.
I didn't know you knew Chinese.
Yeah, exactly. But so that's it for the Surface Pro 7. It looks like a really great device. It's the same material that it's always been. I think it's like a magnesium or something like that is what they use, and it doesn't scratch very easily. It's a very durable metal.
It does feel durable. Yeah,
and it feels kind of soft too. Have you noticed that about your Surface?
Yeah,
they feel like almost like soft,
like
to the
a toy.
Touch. Yeah, it's kind of nice. Yeah, it's like a toy again.
It does.
Back to that.
Yeah, I don't know why. Plastic things feel like toys to me.
I love that.
Toys are made out of plastic.
But so that's it for the Surface Pro 7. Something that they have integrated across all of their devices now is fast charging. It's included on all of the Surface devices. It's included on the Surface Pro 7. It's included on the Surface laptop. It's included on the Surface Pro X, which we will get into here shortly.
Yeah.
Basically, you can charge up to 80% in, I think it's like
15 minutes. Or
yeah,
20 minutes.
It's like 15 or 20. Yeah, it's the typical fast charge situation.
That's good. Yeah, because I actually use that a lot on my Note.
Imagine being able to use it on your computer. So say you're down like to 10%, and you need to charge that puppy because you're about to get on an airplane, and you only have 5 to 10 minutes. You're gonna get 50 to 60% of charge in that 5 to 10 minutes before you get on that airplane, where you can't charge most of the time. Can't charge your Surface.
How long do you think?
Then you can watch your Netflix show, dude. That would allow you to watch your Netflix show on your airplane. That's crazy.
That is cool. Yeah. I wonder how long it's going to be before you can like just charge the entire battery in 5 minutes. Like 5-minute charge. If it takes longer than 5 minutes, then throw it in
They're
the
not going to call it fast charging anymore. They're going to call it 5-minute charging.
Yeah, 5-minute charge.
Hey, it's 5-minute charge. But so I thought that was a really cool thing that they're going to do. I don't think the MacBooks have quick charge yet, right?
Yeah.
So they may be ahead of the curve on Apple on that one.
Yeah. At least not in this 2017.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't really looked at their newest models. I think they're probably in the same form factor as the one you have here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they've changed that.
Yeah.
Mark is asking us a question over here, and it says, "How about the Surface Go, though?" Well, the Surface Go is pretty cool. It's kind of like their answer to just having an iPad.
Yeah.
They didn't come out with any updates to it yet.
I think the biggest size you can get is 4 gigs of RAM. The memory is like 128 gigabytes.
Which is decent. 128 gigs as a starting.
It doesn't feel like an iPad, though. It feels like a computer. It runs the same operating system, so it just feels like a slow computer.
Is there options for external storage? Like, do they have a memory card slot? Because this thing does. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
So, if you pull this puppy up, you lift up the skirt of this guy, there's a memory card slot right there.
That's funny. I didn't even know that was a
there.
thing.
Yeah, so you can put like an extra. You could put like a 1,000 gigabyte, a terabyte micro SD in this puppy and have a bigger hard drive.
I don't know. I've only messed around with a Surface Go for a couple of days at work, but I didn't recognize any kind of external memory or anything like that. But it just seemed it was really tiny. Like they have the attachable keyboard for it and everything.
No way.
Yeah.
Is it like how like it, do you know what an iPad Mini looks like? How big an iPad Mini is?
It is the same size as an iPad Mini.
Okay.
And you're typing on this thing. You're literally your fingers are all together like this, like you're a little mouse. And
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was annoying.
So yeah, that's they didn't update the Surface Go, but they have come out with a new model, and that was what you just heard me say previously was the Surface Pro X, and we're going to get into that here shortly. But there's one thing I think, just one thing that I want to talk about before that.
Yes.
And it's a switch in tech. It's not a computer. It's not a tablet. It is Microsoft's answer to the AirPods.
Yeah.
Which they're these new wireless earbuds with gesture controls are pretty dang cool. They look like a tiny little circle in your ear.
Yeah.
And we're going to link everything, like we're going to link to the event that happened from Microsoft. We're going to link to anything that we talk about in here in the show notes. So if you wanted to talk or go through those, you can. Unfortunately, on Twitch, I can't exactly link anything to you right now.
You guys Google it yourself
but you
on
guys,
your phones.
yeah, you guys are either on your phone right now or you're on your computer right now watching us, and you can just Google it.
Yeah, Mark, send us a text or something.
Put the link in the chat if you want to, Mark. I mean, nobody else is watching but you, so.
Yeah, for the record, you guys want to know where Mark went. He's right there. He's texting us. So,
but this ain't no I Wish I Knew Stuff podcast, so get out, Mark.
Yeah.
Get out.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? But back to these earbuds.
Oh man, I'm excited for them.
So they pair really quickly, just like the Apple AirPods do. They have the gesture control. They have voice control, just like the Siri for the Apple AirPods. One thing that I thought was very cool, they have integrated these with Office products.
Okay.
So say you're doing a presentation.
Yeah.
Like the Microsoft event.
Yeah.
And you have these puppies in your ear. You just swipe. Next slide.
Seriously.
Incredible. That's incredible to me that you can just swipe your ear and you can go to the next slide.
That is
on
really
Microsoft
cool.
PowerPoint. You want to add a note? I think you just tap it, or you can voice activate it. Like I think it's like "Hey Microsoft" or some stupid thing.
Note.
You say, "Add a note." Say this, and it will put the note right there. It'll show you that it's putting it in there.
Cool.
It's really cool.
That is really neat. Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably some bugs that they got to work out and stuff on that. The only downside to these puppies is that they're incredibly expensive for like earbuds. They're $250, $249.
$249. How much are the AirPods?
AirPods are about $120 with the regular charging case, and they're $170, I think, around for the wireless charging case. So they come in a little case that's wireless charging. These ones, they do come in a case, but I don't know if they went over whether they're wireless charging or. I think they are wireless charging because at $250, you would think.
Yeah.
You would hope that they would be wireless charging, but I wasn't sure on that. So that's one of the cool things that was actually one of the coolest things I thought that they came out with was those earbuds.
That is really cool technology that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I was impressed, very impressed. All right.
Yeah.
I've been saying the Surface Pro X for the past couple minutes. I've said it like 3 or 4 times.
I know.
Nobody knows what it is.
I have to get prepared
unless they've
for this.
looked. The Surface Pro X is very similar to an iPad Pro. If you can imagine an iPad Pro sitting on the table, it looks extremely similar.
Yeah.
It's 13-inch on the diag. It's extremely thin. Like I think it's actually thinner than my brand new iPhone 11. I think as a tablet, it's thinner than that.
Really?
Which is pretty crazy. I think it was like 5 millimeters or something like that. Half a centimeter.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's so thin. That's like, I can't even imagine.
I'm going to have to watch
It's like a credit card that's 13 inches big.
I'm going to have to watch the Jerry Rig Everything episode where he does the bend test.
Oh, the bend test. Yeah.
See how that works out.
These are capable of LTE connectivity, so they're just like the iPads where you can get them LTE enabled, so you can have your phone plan on them, so you don't ever have to connect to Wi-Fi, which is pretty cool. They came out with a new slim pen, so there's actually a Surface Pen that's circular, that's basically like their answer to the Apple Pencil.
It was always so huge.
And it is very large. It was about the size of like a Sharpie. Like if you can imagine holding like a regular fine tip Sharpie, it was about that thick. I don't know what Nate's or Mark's talking about over there, but we're just going to ignore him for now.
Yeah. You're funny. Yeah, I think you would look pretty silly, Mark, swiping your ear.
Yeah, you do look kind of funny going like this, but people with AirPods already do it because they have gestures too. They have like the double tap and the swiping and all that kind of stuff. You know,
it's really funny. A side note story. We had this temp working with us, and he would wear AirPods because he would do like deliveries and tear down boxes and things like that. So he'd have his AirPods in all the time, and you'd go to talk to him, and you're like, "Hey, dude," and then he would like look at you and you go, just like tap, And then, but really, what he was doing was he was pausing his music or
Oh,
whatever.
what a loser!
And then it's like, but people that didn't understand what he was doing, it's like, yeah, I know you got your headphones in. That's why I'm talking loud, you know.
Yeah, we know you're rich. You got AirPods, bro.
Yeah, it looked like he was just pointing at him every time, like, yep,
Yeah, I got these.
I've got these right here.
Whatever, dude.
But he was just pausing and starting the music.
What a weirdo.
Gosh, it got annoying. Anyway,
All right, moving on. The
Surface Pro X, slimmest thing ever.
And they came out with a slim pen. So we're back on this pen thing. They used to be like a Sharpie size. Now, do you know those construction pencils that are like oblong? They're like oval.
Yeah, okay.
They're like super wide.
Sure.
It's like it is basically one of those, but shorter, I guess, because they're not.
That's
as long
what it feels like.
That's what it feels like and looks like. A friggin' construction pencil. At least that's what popped into my brain when I was looking at it.
Yeah.
The new slim pen is $144, which is also very expensive. I mean, the Apple Pencil is $100, or it used to be. I think it's $120 now. So it's gone up. But $144 just as an accessory to your computer?
I mean, does it have some of the same kind of cool like features like the new earbuds are going to do? Lots of little gestures and things like that.
Yes, it has the gestures. It has there's a button on it that you can click to go to the next PowerPoint slide. It has all that kind of stuff. You can use it to write on an Excel sheet to put it into the cell, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's wireless charging, which is cool.
You should be able to use the pen to like swipe your ear.
Yeah, just pull. You're like, wait, I want to go to the next slide. Just for your listeners here that are just listening to us blabber on about this stuff, we are making motions like you're a wizard with a wand in your hand at our ears, swiping across. Our ears.
I was itching my ear with my new pen.
Like this?
Yeah, I was like
with your pinky.
Yeah,
right up in there.
I had the new slim pen. It just it's a great feature. It itches your ear.
So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's wireless charging and it goes so in these guys right here. This is the Microsoft Surface keyboard thing, and it will come with one of these. The Surface Pro X will. It has a little spot right up at the top in the center, in between if you were to connect it to the Surface Pro X, in between the screen and where the keyboard starts, there's going to be a little slot, and you can put that pen right in that slot.
Okay.
And then flip it up so that you just see the keyboard, and it's wireless charging when it's in there. So that's kind of a cool feature. There's a spot to put it now that's not just magneted to the side because that's how they are now.
Yeah.
I have one up in my backpack, but I'm not going to run up there and get it right now.
Yeah.
But you can magnet it right to the side, but it always falls off. I'm like walking around with it and it'll fall on the floor. I'm like, dang it! Like this is or I think it was like $90 or something for that Surface Pen. And I'm like, I just dropped it on the ground. This thing's expensive. So now they've got a little pouch.
You know, they probably had to develop or try to figure out what is the magnets going to be too strong or not strong enough. Maybe they just chose the wrong one.
Yeah, it's possible.
Or, magnets do wear out a little bit too.
That's true. Yeah, they do eventually lose their magnetization.
Yeah.
Unless they're a earth magnet, then they never do, I don't think.
Dude, so we got a Surface Laptop 3, a 13 and a 15-inch. We got a Surface Pro 7. We got some amazing earbuds. We have a pen that's coming out, a slim pen for the Surface Pro X, which is also amazing.
Yeah.
I want to feel how thin it is. I really do.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to at least see one in person and kind of play with it, maybe in the store or something. I'm not going to buy it because I don't need it, but it would be kind of cool to at least play with. There is one more thing that I want to talk about with this Surface Pro X. With all these Surface devices, actually, they've implemented a very interesting thing. Hold on, let me burp. There you go.
Nice. Good one, Phil.
They've implemented this very weird AI thing.
Ooh.
So
Cortana? Just kidding.
Yeah, right. Junk is what that is. They have this thing where if you're on a Skype call and you're doing a video chat, it senses your eyes, it looks at your eyes, and it will change the video that the person on the other end of the video call sees so that it looks like you're looking at them. It will slightly shift the way your eyes look to them to be looking at the camera, so it looks like you're looking directly at them and you can connect with them, in air quotes, better.
So, because people tend to look at themselves, right, instead of looking
Correct.
into the camera.
Yeah,
so
that because people are so self-centered, they can't just look at a camera.
Yeah,
Like I'm doing right now.
Yeah, there's probably some psychological stuff. Like, we're down here on the screen,
Yeah,
so like
right down in the
that's
corner
where I'm
over
looking.
there. Yeah, and we're not looking up at the camera up there.
Right here.
Right here.
Techtober. I love that you made that hockey like that. That's
Dude,
hilarious.
I didn't even mean to, and it is just like that. Oh, yeah. So if you're just listening to this right now, I am spamming a button, and it just is putting Techtoberfest all over our faces. It's awesome.
With like the loudest keyboard I've ever heard in my
Oh,
life.
yeah, dude. Clickety-clackety.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, they have this weird AI thing. It's an AI pointing at my eyeball thing, which is kind of
that is weird.
Yeah, I thought it was very weird. It looked very natural. The demonstration that they did on stage looked very natural, but I was just kind of
like CGI your eyes going the wrong.
Yeah, basically. So you could like eventually probably make your eyes go cross-eyed.
Dude, yeah, I was gonna say there's gonna be some cool like messing with this. Like I'm gonna look.
The programmers are just like, you guys are dumb. Look, I'm making you look cross-eyed.
I'm gonna look way down here,
and it's gonna be going. Yeah,
making my eyes look this.
It'd be so weird, dude.
Yeah, that's cool. We gotta try that out.
So, we are to a spot in this Microsoft event.
Yeah,
that is pretty cool.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you guys know who Marcus Brownlee is. MKBHD. He's a YouTuber. He always puts out some very crispy, clean videos. His videos are some of the nicest that are on YouTube. He got to go look at the newest tech. Probably, I think it was before this event even came out, and he posted a video about it before the event came out. I'm pretty sure it came out before the event. I'm not 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure it
crazy.
did.
Like
Microsoft,
a leak almost.
Yeah, so Microsoft did something very cool. Very
finally
innovative. Yeah, finally, right? Oh my gosh. They did something that no other tech company has done.
Okay.
At least to my knowledge. They're showing next year's tech at this event.
Weird.
Next year's holiday tech that's going to come out around September, they showed it. What their design looks like, a preliminary design to the public.
That's weird.
Is that like in your mind, does that like just make you feel really weird? Like what?
Yeah.
What else could they be working on?
Yeah, it does. It makes me think about a bunch of different things. Like for one, why are they showing people? Because there's other companies. Okay, here's the thing. They probably. What?
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's like exactly what I'm saying. I'm like on the same mind track with you right now.
They already know that no one's going to be stealing their idea because other companies are already 2 or 3 years ahead anyway, just like they are.
Yep.
For one.
But now they possibly could.
They possibly could.
Like another tech company could just swipe in and be like, nah, we can make this better.
Yeah. They're just so confident in their, I don't know what to think.
I think it honestly is like a ego confidence type thing where they're like, yeah, this is going to be dope. And it's going to be doper than anything
cool.
that could like anybody else could do.
This is what we're doing is already cool. And we're already years ahead. That's what they're telling us basically.
Yeah.
Like we're showing you next year's tech. If we wanted to, we could show you 2024 tech. But
yeah,
we're not gonna.
No, we're not gonna. We're just gonna show you next year's.
Yeah, it's really. I don't know. I don't know if it's cool. I don't know if it's egotistical.
I'm not sure, and I don't think we should speculate any further. But
it
is
neat
very
and
interesting.
Different.
Yeah, it's at least different for sure. We're gonna get to that question here shortly. There's a question in chat that I really want to address.
Yeah.
But I have just a few more things before we're gonna switch gears and let NALO talk to us because this was a fill you in. I don't know if you knew that. We didn't even talk about that.
Fill me in.
Dude, I am filling you right in.
Just how I prefer.
And Mark's comment definitely applies to filling you in. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
They came out, so they're talking about their next year's tech, which was very cool. Their next year's tech is called, one of them is called the Surface Neo. So the Surface Neo, if you can think about this, I'm just going to describe this with my words, and hopefully you can understand this. It paints a picture in your mind like Bob Ross. There's an iPad on one side, and there's an iPad on the other side, and they're connected to each other via a hinge.
Yeah.
And it's a perfectly weighted hinge. This hinge, from Marcus Brownlee's words, was perfectly weighted.
Yeah, because it could either be too loose or too heavy, and it feels like it's hard to pull apart.
They have like a bajillion coaxial cables running through that are thinner than a human hair running through that hinge to connect the two sides so that it will work seamlessly together, which I thought was incredible.
That is insane.
A cable, like this cable right here, that's like only has 2 wires in it and only has like a very small job to do,
is huge.
Is ginormous, which I understand as an electrical engineer why it has to be big, but most, I guess, normie folks probably don't understand it. It's just because of power consumption and stuff.
Yeah.
But for them to be able to do that and move power across those tiny little cables is just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
So it's the Surface Neo. It's basically like a mini tablet that can turn into a computer that also gets one of these keyboards, these Microsoft keyboards. It's a little bit more flexible and magnets to the back of it. When you connect it to it and you flip it over the front of one side of that device, there becomes a touch bar just like in the MacBook Pros on the top half of it.
That's crazy.
It's a very incredible device, and I highly suggest, if you're interested in this at all, to go watch at least the end portion. It's probably in the last 20 minutes of that event. It's pretty cool. The only bad thing is it's not coming out till next year, and specs could change, things could change, and you can't have it now. But now you know what's coming out, and it makes you want it even more, which is probably why they're doing it, honestly. Maybe that's digging deeper. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. The Neo is the 2 pads.
The Surface Neo, it's a double iPad with a hinge.
But you can fold the screens together and you can fold them all the way back, so it's like a screen on either side.
It's a 360-degree hinge.
Yeah.
Is what they called it. At least, I mean, technically you couldn't be exactly 360 degrees if we want to be technical, but you can fold the back to back. You can fold face to face so that it closes, so it protects the screens. It's a cool device. I think there's going to be a very unique use case for it. I don't know who the end user specifically would be, whether it's people in the office. It runs a special software called Windows 10X. It's kind of like a mobile version of Windows software, which could be good and it could be absolutely horrible, because we've had Windows phones before, and I've never heard a good review about a Windows phone.
No.
So
they were so confusing.
It could be incredibly terrible. So I guess we'll have to wait till next year to find out, but it could be awesome. You never know.
Yeah.
Maybe these devices is going to be like the next iPhone. You never know.
Could be.
So one thing that I thought was hilarious about this event, is that they did there's one more thing that Apple does, or did, that Steve Jobs used to do. And so basically after this Surface Neo explanation, the guy starts to walk off the stage.
Uh-oh.
He's like, we're done. This is it. No, we good. We good, bro. Nah, fam.
Just like at a concert when it's like, okay, we're done.
He was actually making millennial jokes at one point in the thing too, because he has some younger kids, I guess, like teenagers and stuff, and he was talking about how they talk. But he was actually a very good presenter. This guy was incredible, and he could get the crowd to laugh. He was awesome. Cool. But they did the one more thing, and I thought it was hilarious because they're just basically taking a dig at Apple for this. It's so dumb.
It was almost exactly like the way Steve Jobs used to do it.
Exactly, yeah. He would be like, oh, no, wait. There's one more thing. And this guy did it, and he brings out of his back pocket the Surface Duo.
Yeah.
Which is basically a Windows phone. It's the same thing as the Surface Neo, but a scrunched size. And it's about the size of a Palm Pilot, like the old Palm Pilots, kind of. Maybe it's a little bit wider.
Yeah.
Probably hard to hold in one hand, honestly, if you have small hands.
If it was open, for sure.
Yeah, if it was open, well, I mean, even if it's closed, it was still fairly wide. It was like wider than, I mean, like an iPhone is fairly short width-wise. If you held it sideways and maybe took off an inch, that's about how wide it was.
Well, I've always liked big phones. I mean,
I bet you do.
I bought I've had Notes since they came out,
Right.
And I always said big phone for a big dude.
Big phone for a big dude. I mean, hey, yeah, that makes sense. I have tiny hands for a guy.
Yeah.
I have pretty small hands. The iPhone 11 fits pretty good in my hand. I don't think this Surface Duo would fit well in my hand at all.
No.
So whatever. But it's pretty cool. It's the same concept as the Surface Neo. There's one screen on one side, one screen on the other. You can fold it 360 degrees. You can fold it face to face. It's got speakers on it. It's got a earpiece so that you can... Ooh, perfect size hands. Hold on, Mark. We're going to get to you. I promise. We're almost there. You can make calls on it. It's basically a Windows phone, which is cool and not cool depending on who you are.
Yeah.
If you're an iPhone user, if anybody saw you with this thing, they'd probably laugh at you. But it's going to be pretty cool. I think they have some tweaks to make to it still. Pretty cool that Microsoft is letting us know what they're going to be coming out with in a year.
Yeah, and I think that now that you told us what that next year's tech is, it makes a little more sense to me why they're telling us now. Because Samsung and a few other named brands have come out with folding screens, right? So like they're almost like one-upping this technology because
like the actual screen is foldable.
Yeah, the actual screen, like Samsung has had folding or bendable LCD for a couple of years now, and they've been teasing for a while that they're going to come out with a foldable screen phone, and they did. They do have it now. It's I don't know what's it called, the
Galaxy Fold.
Galaxy Fold. Yeah. And and then the picture on it's a butterfly, and it it looks cool. But I think Microsoft is saying like that technology is cool, like it is, but we're making a more practical version of that technology because yeah, cool, your screen folds, but it doesn't do this. So maybe that's kind of what they're doing.
And their demonstrations on Windows 10X, I couldn't do justice to if I just spoke about them. So definitely at least go check out the event online. I believe it's on YouTube. You can. That's where I watched it. I didn't watch it live.
I watched the Marcus Brownlee episode.
Yeah, and he goes over pretty much everything you need to know.
Yeah, it's really, really neat.
He
Very easy to
He
understand.
didn't go over the software, though. That's one thing he didn't get to go over, and I think that's what they held back from him so that they could talk about it on their event. So the software is pretty cool. They're in very early stages, obviously, because it's coming out next year, so they have some work to do. But it should be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it. And I think that concludes, honestly, the whole Microsoft event.
Yeah.
So we should take our questions from our audience here, our live audience here.
Yeah.
Mark Footit says, so, you taking your shirts off or what? And I was like, no, we can't do that because Twitch TOS, which is terms of service for Twitch, they don't allow you to do that, I don't think.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. We can drink a beer.
There have been streamers that have like accidentally forgot to not turn off their stream and they stream in their bedroom and they've like gotten naked to get in the shower or something and been banned from Twitch because of it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and there's been some crazy stuff that's happened on Twitch from that kind of stuff. So there's actually YouTube videos that like review that kind of stuff and talk about it and talk about who's done it and who's messed up. Ninja actually is one of them that has accidentally left his cam on.
That's funny.
He didn't get naked, but he like was talking to people and it was just like it seemed like he forgot.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything crazy. But.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. And then Mark says,
accidentally.
Yeah, exactly. Accidentally. No kidding. Perfect size hands when I was talking about my hands. And I agree, Mark. Thanks for the compliment.
Phil does it. Phil's just perfect size everywhere.
I think they call it fun size.
Yeah, fun size. He's just a fun-sized guy.
Look at me. Hey, NALO.
Yeah.
Since we're between subjects here,
yeah,
I think we're going to switch over to you here shortly. I am in need of a refill on my beer. My Oktoberfest lager from Red Lodge Ales. If you would like to sponsor this, please reach out to us, Red Lodge Ales.
Yeah, like that'll happen.
I am spamming TECHtoberfest right now on Twitch. I hope you guys know that. Our listeners are probably going to be like, what's going on over there? They don't even know what's happening. But you know what?
They'll have to go watch it on YouTube.
They'll have to go watch it on YouTube because this will be downloaded from Twitch and re-uploaded to YouTube directly after this episode. So if you would like to rewatch these amazing ear gems or re-listen to these amazing ear gems and watch our beautiful faces and our beautiful bodies in our beautiful TECHtoberfest graphic, you're more than welcome to. I'm having a seizure now, is what Mark says. Oh, I actually should watch out for that. Thank you,
I've
sir.
had maybe 2 or 3 drinks of this thing, but whatever. Okay, so I think we are. Your main thing that you wanted to talk about was a big Microsoft event because you really liked the Apple event. You're an Apple kind of guy, so you're like, I'm going to find out what's going on with Microsoft this time, see how they do. And evidently, their presentation was lame.
Well, hold on. I don't want to put that as my opinion because I don't think that the Microsoft event was lame because the presenters were incredible.
Sure.
They weren't. It didn't seem like they were very scripted. There was one lady that was describing the Surface Neo it seemed like it was like she was reading off of a piece of paper in front of her.
Like a robot.
But all of the other presenters were incredible. They're very good in front of a crowd. They knew how to keep people engaged.
Yeah.
The guy who was talking about the Surface Neo before this woman came out for the software portion of it was incredible.
Cool.
I think he's one of the... burping over here.
All right, Rick Sanchez.
Guess
him.
Wait, I did Morty. I just said, Morty in Morty's voice.
Hey, Morty talks about himself all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
But I think it was a really great event. I don't have any beefs with it being bad in any sense.
You just think that Apple goes above and beyond with their presentation.
Apple goes above and beyond anybody should go for these presentations. Like, we are so focused on this tech all year. Yeah. And it's kind of funny because we're using tech to stream to tech people to talk about tech right now. But they just spend way too much money on everything that they do. And it was way too over the top. Microsoft's event was pretty small. There was probably a total of maybe 200 or 300 people in this room. Huh. There was more than 1,000, more than 2,000, maybe even more than 3,000 at the Apple event. And it just seemed way more intimate. It seemed less like they put less money into it because they're focusing on their products and they're focusing. I think that's probably why they do this, is so that it gives the idea that they're focusing very hard on their products, and they emphasize that in the whole first look business. He emphasized talking about, hey, a lot of what we've been doing and spending time on is creating materials and putting materials together that would make you feel a certain way when you looked at this product the first time. And that could be honestly what they're trying to get after with not spending a bunch of money on this event.
For sure.
But yeah, I'm done with this Microsoft event. I want to listen to NALO's stuff that he has gathered on what is coming out in October or what has been discussed in the news, in current events, all that kind of stuff with tech. Yeah. So what do you got for us, NALO?
Well, I'm a Samsung fan. I like the Samsung tech and how they're innovative and risky. And
risky.
They take a lot of risks.
They are probably out of all the tech companies. They're one of the most risky tech companies.
They like to take the first step, which is really cool. And sometimes, it turns out that you make a battery that's going to explode and you can't take it on airplanes.
It literally blows up in their faces.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes that happens when you're a risk taker. But so I like that about the Samsung company. And so I made some notes about Samsung. I think even more so along the lines of exactly what Samsung is and what they believe and how they present themselves. They didn't wait till October to come out with this, with information. They did this in August.
I'm out of the loop on this.
Yeah, so August they had an event, and it was probably similar to the Microsoft event. It's in a big room. I would say it's like in the middle, because the way you described the Apple event reminded me of what the Samsung event was, only on smaller scale. So the event was in this big auditorium, and they had obnoxiously large screens. Like the screen behind the presenter was like a Cowboys Stadium, jumbotron size.
Well, Samsung has held an event before. I don't know if it was this one or if it was a few years ago, where the screen was the floor, the screen was the wall, and the screen was also the other wall behind the guy. It was like a full wall, like probably a 20 by 40 wall,
Yes.
a 20 by 40 wall, and a floor that was about that size.
And he looks like he's floating.
Complete it. Yeah. He was literally standing on top of the screen. Is this the same deal, or was this just screens on the wall?
It's similar. There was like a big giant flat screen behind the presenter that was just obnoxiously big, and then it was a dome of screens. It was just like one perfectly smooth dome over top.
So like a folding screen.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. And it was really neat, and everything integrated with itself. So it reminded me a lot of the Apple, but that happened in August. So
Okay.
Well, a couple of things they announced was the Galaxy Book S, which is they're trying to catch up with Apple and Windows with their laptop availabilities. But this is more like a Chromebook.
Like a mobile operating system type deal?
Yes, it's not really designed to be a full-on functional laptop, but the Galaxy Book S is like the top of the line, Chromebook-esque.
Okay.
Laptops. The small, portable, go to college, take notes.
And there's a market for that kind of thing.
There is,
and
yeah.
It's especially present in the educational fields, at least.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that there's going to be schools buying these like crazy and things like that. So they announced that on August 7th. It's going to be running Windows 10. The cool thing about this one is it's going to have LTE connectivity. So that's a new thing for them in their laptop display.
I want to back up for 1 second.
Yeah.
I want to pause you. Full Windows 10 OS?
Yes.
So it's not like a mobile operating system. It's more of a full-fledged computer operating system, but it's on a mobile device?
Yes.
Okay.
Without a detachable keyboard.
Okay, so it's still kind of like a miniature laptop.
Yes, but they're stepping it up to 8 gigs of RAM. So
okay.
It's supposed to be the fastest and most versatile mini.
That's good.
So
okay.
13.3 inch, so it's about the same size as the smallest MacBook Pro and
about
the smallest,
same size as the Surface. Yeah.
Yeah, Surface Pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So and it comes in gold and gray, and when I was looking at the pictures of it, it reminded me of the MacBook Pro. They're all going this direction, like you had mentioned earlier.
Very funny because I didn't mention the colors of this of the Surface Pro or the Surface Book.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's coming out, the Surface Book 3. It is also coming in like the rose gold type color, the silver color, and the like space gray type color. It's like everybody's just following suit with Apple.
I know, and I read these things that where they ask people what they want in technology, and one of the biggest things is more color availability.
Customization is key.
People want like lime green ones and pink ones, and I think that Google is doing that because their newest Pixels and things like that. The Pixel 4 is coming out soon, or the Pixel whatever. I don't know what it is, but they have like really bright colors, really bright ones, and it's just so much different than anybody else. And then Apple came out with the red iPhone, right? And it sold out like crazy. People wanted it, and it was just nuts. So,
Nemo Paradox. Yes, we are live. So we just got a chat from somebody that is watching our live show. We are going to be posting this podcast on our podcast page, Nemo.
Yes.
So yes, we are live, and we are giving you a wink.
Yeah, but you can also watch it later on YouTube or listen to it on any kind of podcast app, if you prefer Spotify or Google Play or whatever.
Or even CastBox that we've had a request about.
Yeah, we fixed it.
Yeah. So hit us up. We appreciate the downloads, and we don't currently have any sponsors. We are just starting this up. Me and NALO are. NALO has previously been a podcaster.
True.
So thank you. We appreciate the comment on looking professional. We kind of have to go into our comments that we get from people when we're streaming here because we are going to be posting this as a podcast as well. So our listeners need to know kind of what's going on.
Yeah, I know. And we talked about this. I think it's we're going to try to do both at the same time. And I don't know if there's many podcasters that do that. Or
I don't know if there's any that actually try to do both as in like they post their podcast later. They might just leave it on Twitch and then just post it to YouTube.
Yeah.
So we could be maybe some of the first.
I want to be a trendsetter.
Let's set that
something.
trend.
So let's. I think this would be a good idea.
So
Best of
Nemo,
both worlds.
we are going to be talking about some new tech that's coming out. We have a TECHtoberfest little thing here. So stick with us. If you like tech, we're talking about Samsung currently. We already talked about the Microsoft event that happened.
Got some Oktoberfest beer made
we have
in Montana.
some beer that we're drinking.
Red Lodge Ales.
So hang out.
Okay, so the next thing that Samsung announced was that there is an S11 coming out. And really the main thing for Samsung is their phones, right? So people want the Galaxies and they want the newest, best, greatest phones out there that is just right up there with the top 3, you know.
And Samsung's flagship is the Galaxy, correct?
Absolutely.
I mean, the Galaxy versions of the phone or
absolutely.
Whatever you
so
would call
the
that.
next one in line is the 11, and they did announce that it's coming out. Since I've made my notes, they've solidified the date, the release date of it, which is February 18th.
So they're not even out with this bad boy.
No, there's only been rumors, basically. So in August, they said it's coming out. We don't know when yet, and stay tuned for some information. And you know, these companies, they leak information on purpose and things like that for YouTubers to come out with the information. So it kind of makes a speculation, and people get excited about their product. So really, the things that we heard about S11 was that it's possible it could have a front and a back screen.
Wow, that's incredible.
Like,
wait,
not
so
foldable?
it's not foldable. It just has a front screen and a back screen?
Absolutely.
It's kind of like
device.
the iPhone, where the iPhone is, I guess the iPhone doesn't have 2 screens. Don't get me twisted up in here.
Yeah.
Don't get me twisted.
But it's got like a touchpad.
It's got a touch screen on the front and then another touch screen on the back? Is what they're going to have?
So
the iPhone has a glass front and a glass back.
And the idea behind it is that if you want to take... People are so obsessed with selfies, okay, that people were ignoring how good the front cameras were because the back camera was even better. They would turn the phone around, not be able to see themselves.
Yeah, and that was one thing that Apple focused on in their event too, was they focused on the front-facing camera and upgrading that.
For sure. So they're giving this design, they've patented a design.
Oh, wow.
So the rumor is that it could possibly be the 11, but Samsung has officially patented the double screen front and back
device.
Screen. Yeah.
Okay.
And the back screen was about 3/4 of the phone.
Okay. So it's a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. Okay.
Right. So the purpose behind that would be so you can take better selfies. Mark, you're going to be really excited about that because I know you take so many selfies of yourself.
And possibly a Slow-fee if you have an iPhone.
Exactly.
Jeez.
So I'm not so sure that it's actually going to have a front and back screen. I think people are just excited that they patented that. That's probably coming in the future, or maybe they're never. I mean, they patent things all the time. They never come out with.
What is the freaking use case for a back screen?
It's got to be like.
Tell me what you would use a back screen for.
I think that maybe I would use a back screen for if I have my phone attached to something and I'm filming and I'm on the filming side of it and I could see what I'm filming.
Do you realize how specific that use case is?
Right. So it's never going to come out.
Likely it might not come out. But I guess we'll eat our words if it does.
Yeah. At least they've patented it so nobody else can do it, I guess. I don't know. But I wrote down that it's a possible 5 times optical zoom camera.
Optical?
Yes. But since then it has been confirmed.
That's incredible.
5 times.
I don't care who you are.
Optical zoom
5
on
times.
a phone.
Optical. That's just nuts. I don't care who you are. That's crazy.
But the leaker, the person who confirmed it, said it's not a normal one. I don't know what that means.
What the heck
I don't think
does
anybody
that mean?
knows what. No, I don't know.
It's not an in air quotes normal one.
No, it's 5 times optical zoom. It is.
Okay.
But it's not a normal one.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
All right.
So.
Okay, Samsung.
Good night, Mark.
Yeah. Also, good night, Mark.
So they also said that they had patented a 108 megapixel camera for the camera, or for the phone.
So, I have heard somewhere, I don't know where, probably some deep corner of the internet, that megapixels don't really matter if you get over like 15 or something like that.
Maybe.
Or 20. Like, how many freaking pixels you need?
I think that the only way that it's even gonna matter is if you can take a picture with your phone and then put it on a movie theater style screen and it still be clear.
Okay.
That's the only use I see for any kind of super megapixel.
Samsung needs to get with its use cases situation and figure out what's actually
Yeah,
reasonable.
but that's just Samsung's thing. They want to be the first to do it. They don't care. They don't really care if you're actually going to need it or use it. They just want to be the first to do it. So they patented the 108, but since I made my note, it's confirmed that 5 times optical zoom is going to be on a 108 megapixel camera on the phone. On a phone.
Those of you who are listening can't see, but I'm like blinking uncontrollably and like possibly having a seizure. This is nuts. A 5 times optical zoom on a 100 and what?
108 megapixels.
Oh my gosh, that's nuts. That is crazy.
Dude, I've been married for almost 15 years.
Wow.
For my wedding, I got a camera.
What megapixel was that
digital
camera?
camera. 8.
8 megapixel. Dude, what?
8 megapixel digital camera, not a phone. An actual digital camera made by Canon. I got for my wedding. It was expensive.
You want to know what's funny?
Megapixels.
My DSLR that I bought less than 3 years ago, I guess 4 years ago maybe.
Yeah.
The Canon 70D.
Yeah.
Only a 12 megapixel camera. Only 4 megapixels more than what you had, and it was friggin' $1,200.
Yeah, but like you said, maybe megapixels really don't even matter.
It's possible. I guess
for the most 99% of every use of a picture ever.
Yeah, I will have to do some research into that.
You know, I don't have one of them giant TVs, but
Ginormous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have one of those either.
But maybe once I get a camera that has 108 megapixels, I'll get a giant TV so I can.
Yeah, dude. So you can be like, hey, look, this picture that look at this picture that I took. Look. It's in 108 megapixel. Look.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, and I've got even more. They have an even more the step forward in the cameras too. They're gonna straight up put 3 cameras on the front face.
People are okay. So like, Apple is putting 3 cameras on the back of their phone, and it already looks like a friggin' stovetop on that puppy.
It does.
And now Samsung's like, yeah, we might as well just put it on the front.
Yeah, we got 3 on the back already. Let's put 3 on the front too.
Oh, it's TECHtoberfest. Let's put it on there.
I'm serious. You're going to be able to buy a Samsung Galaxy phone, and it's going to have 6 cameras on it.
That's just ridiculous. There's no point.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
but
they patented this notch. They call it the notch on the top of the Samsung cameras. So the notch, they have a sensor in there. So they have 2 cameras on the front facing and a sensor. And that sensor, they've alluded to that they're not going to use that sensor anymore, but they still patented a new design for 3 slots. So people are thinking.
So this is a rumored 3 camera front.
Yes.
Business. Okay.
But as time goes on, each day and day that happens, leakers are coming out and they're more confident that it's going to have a 3.
Oh my gosh.
3 front-facing cameras. So
that is just nuts to me.
Maybe that's since they patented, they're really focused on selfies.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, going back to what you prefaced this section, the Samsung section with.
Yeah.
They always are out in front of the pack. They're always doing something crazy. They're always doing something nuts.
Exactly.
Maybe this is the people who are going to put a 3 camera front-facing bid-nass up in there.
Probably.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first.
Not only that, but the S11 is rumored to have 12 gigs of RAM. So,
it's
basically a supercomputer in your hand.
Yeah, I understand that you need to run Google Chrome on your phone, and it is hungry for RAM, but I don't think you need 12 on your dang phone. I guess there are some people, especially my wife, who do a lot of things on their phone all at once, and they have
never close their apps.
Every single app is open on their phone.
Yeah,
which, from what I've heard from Apple, at least Tim Cook, I think, actually made a public statement about this, that having multiple apps open on your phone does not deteriorate the performance. It's normally only using the most used apps, so it recognizes how much you're using each app that's open, and it will store that in the RAM instead of having all of it, and it also doesn't deplete your battery faster, which I think is a lie, because I've worked with computers so much of my life, and if you have a lot of applications open, it's going to drain your battery faster, and it's going to use up a lot more RAM. That's just the way it works.
For sure.
Maybe they have some crazy...
It's the screen, really.
Software.
The screen is what tears batteries down. So
That's true. Yeah.
the screen brightness. Some people just have to have it as bright as possible at all times. But there's other
Connor
people.
Cornel, we're talking to you, bud.
There's so many people like my wife who have to have their camera or their screen brightness all the way down all the time, and then they want to show me a picture. They're like, "Hey."
You're like, I can't see it. It's literally not lit up at all. Your phone is black. It's locked. Don't even tell me that.
So we'll go to
that's hilarious.
A local Mexican restaurant where you scan the thing.
Yeah.
And then you get points.
Yeah.
They always tell her, "Can you make your screen brighter?"
Dude,
I'm like, I told you.
They do that at airports too. When you have your boarding pass, your digital boarding pass, they make you put your
screen
like,
bright.
hey, can you make sure before you come up to the make sure you come up to the stand with your brightness on your phone all the way up, or it will not work, and we will delay boarding, and then you'll be late for your connection.
And even though it's 2020. If you have a Galaxy Note 7, we are going to arrest you.
Also, your dog might die if you don't have your brightness up.
Yeah.
Like, geez, come on, guys.
Seriously. Okay, so I wanted to touch on Samsung. They already did their thing. It's a couple months back already, so it's really not super exciting for the stuff that Samsung is doing, but they kind of, we're still kind of trying to figure out what the S11 is about. So I think that's
and we have a few months, I think, to do that because they come out the February 18 next
February
year, 2020.
18 is the release date of the S11.
Well, I think they still have some cool stuff that they at least got to talk about, and the rumors are incredible, and I'm really excited to see if they come to fruition.
Exactly. But my thing that I really want to talk to you about is GoPro, because GoPro is laying it out this year, and they've been disappointing me the last couple of years.
But wait. The Hero 7 had some crazy software in it and some crazy hyper smooth crap in it. That was incredible when it came out.
You're right. And it was just so recently that it's almost like not even a different camera.
It's like, why did they do this to themselves?
This reminded me so much of when I was very hyped when Halo Reach came out. So hopefully there's some people on this Twitch channel that they're like, amen, brother.
There are definitely people on Twitch that are stoked about Halo, I'll tell you that.
Because, dude, Halo, okay, so when Halo Reach was rumored, and it just took forever. It literally took forever.
Years.
For Halo Reach to come out. And then Microsoft and Bungie did the worst thing ever. They released a halfway made game called Halo ODST, and it was the dumbest thing ever, and it made me almost destroy my Halo game and hate Halo forever.
It must have been dumb because I played Halo and I didn't even know Halo ODST existed.
Halo ODST. So, without going too far into it, Halo ODST was like a, hey, we're sorry it's taking so long for Halo Reach. Play this while you're at it. And
oh my gosh.
It was, oh my gosh.
Just the ultimate FU, honestly.
They made half levels, so you'd go halfway across the map and then you'd turn around and go back. So it wasn't even it was so
That's annoying.
So stupid. But then they released Halo Reach, and it was the game. Halo Reach seriously is the best Halo.
So they redeemed themselves.
They totally did.
Themselves.
They totally redeemed themselves, but they should have just never did the ODST.
Huh. Well,
so this is what I feel like that GoPro did with the Hero 7.
It's nostalgic almost for you.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Let's elaborate on what they've come out with here.
Yes, GoPro in the past has really been on the forefront of action cameras, and their technology has been far above and beyond that anybody else can do with an action camera of the same size.
If you hear the words action camera together, immediately in almost every single human's mind, GoPro.
GoPro. Exactly.
GoPro. It's like it's second
really
nature that that's what you think about.
And I love GoPro, and I use GoPro, and I use it for, we've used it for podcast filming. I've used it, paste it on the Jeep when I go off-roading, and when we're snowboarding or going down to, on a roller coaster or whatever, you can use it in any time that you want. It really is an action camera that's an amazing thing. So GoPro is a very exciting product for me. I really like it. So finally, I think the step between GoPro Hero 6 and the 8 is really the real step, because the 7 was that Halo ODST.
Yeah, and if you have the 7, it's like, dang, why did I buy this thing, right?
Yeah.
Right now?
Oh, so true, because the 7 came out and people bought it, and it's slimmer, it's cooler, it's smoother, it's more rounded on the edges. It has that hyper smooth, which is a ridiculous technology. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how it works.
If you have not seen this in action, you need to go to youtube.com right now, type in GoPro Hero Hypersmooth 1.0, because that's what's in the Hero 7.
Yes.
And at least just look at a comparison of the Hero 6 and the Hero 7.
Yeah, it's like after you watch that, if you don't have a Hero 7 or newer, you might as well just throw your other GoPros in the garbage, because without the hypersmooth, like your camera is just ridiculous. It's just not even cool anymore. So
yeah, no, I agree.
It's like the main thing for a GoPro now. But so the Hero 8 is actually really, really super cool. It's a Hero 7 in the Hero 7 form that it should have been in the whole time.
So it's what was the Halo that came out that was after ODST?
Halo Reach.
Halo
Reach.
It is the Halo Reach of GoPro.
It seriously is. They took forever to develop this technology, and they just kind of felt bad, I think,
for
GoPro, and they were getting close to a date that they had to release something, so they released the 7, and I feel like that we got gypped.
Oh,
but
no.
Now that the Hero 8 is coming out, you can pre-order it right now, but it's not out yet. It comes out in about a month.
Okay.
But it's got this cool new thing where you can put mods on it. So they're really, really appealing to content creators like us. So what they want to do is they want to be able to replace your webcam, and they want to be able to replace your, instead of using your phone with attachments or
like a DSLR on a big, huge Joby with a microphone attached to it.
Exactly. Because to get the quality that you prefer as a content creator, you've had to do that in the past. Get a big Sony camera, get a big Canon camera, and you put it on these big old fat Joby things, and they're really useful, but they're bulky and crazy. And I think GoPro is really trying to take over that market and say, like, hey, we've already got this market cornered, because, like you said, you think of action camera, you think of GoPro. Now they're like, our camera is so good that we can take over this other stuff too. And I really think that's what they're trying to do.
And I think I'm doing this conversation a disservice, because we have previously sat down and looked at YouTube videos of this GoPro Hero 8. And
with our eyes like this, like,
whoa, oh my gosh, what's going on? But yeah, we've previously sat down and talked about this, and I've watched videos of it, and you've showed me everything that they're going to do with it, and so I know what's going on with it.
Yeah.
But I kind of have to act like, hey, I don't actually know what's going on, so we can make this conversation cool.
Well,
but it's cool that we're sharing this with our Twitch viewers,
Exactly.
we're sharing this with our YouTube viewers, and we're sharing this with our listeners. And a lot of people might not know that this GoPro Hero 8 is that much of a step above the Hero 7 or even the Hero 6.
It really is. So you're going to be able to put an external microphone on this, like you have been before on a GoPro, but you had to have some weird attachment. And
I do
you
have
had to
one
have the right
question.
cables. Yeah.
I have one question on this at least on these mods in general.
Yes.
Do they have to be a GoPro mod? That's one thing that is like, what if you want to put a Rode VideoMic Pro or VideoMic Go or like one of those, any of the Rode products into this guy? Can you do that?
I think so, unless it's the microphone currently. Because the microphone, they've done this weird thing where a GoPro has always developed a few different cases. So depending on what you're going to use the camera for, you can have a waterproof case, you can have a slim case, you can have a fat case for an extra battery. This is just basically an extra or a different case that already has a microphone, like a directional, nice microphone.
Like a cardioid microphone.
Yes, built into it. So you put the GoPro in this case, and the microphone is big, and it's
powerful.
much nicer. And on that case, it has slide-in ports for an extra LED light, so you can light up your whatever you're filming a little bit better, like how we have our lights here, and it makes the video much nicer.
Yeah, because if we turn these lights off, you can definitely see some grain in that video, and you don't want
this
that.
webcam quality just gets
this
down.
webcam quality at 4 years old, just not good enough.
Oh, it craves the light.
It craves it.
So this GoPro is going to be the same way with the modifications on it. So you're going to be able to do. You have the microphone, you have the light, and then you're going to be able to put. What was the other piece on there? An extra screen. So
you can have a selfie screen, basically.
Exactly. So
that's incredible.
The camera itself has a screen on the back, but now you're going to be able to attach another GoPro screen to the side, so you can film just like content creators would need to make this. So
that's game changing, because the only reason that I bought the 70D, at least in the Canon lineup that they had at the time when I was buying this camera, is that it had a flip out screen that could flip to the other way, so I could actually watch myself.
Yeah, when you were doing your vlogs, which I totally watched, they were so cool. You did your vlogging. You need to be able to center yourself in the camera and make a good video.
Yeah,
and that's the reason for being able to see yourself in it. So now you're going to be able to do that with a GoPro, which is crazy. They've never done this before, but I think that other companies are really going to explode with this, with the aftermarket for the accessories.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's definitely at least a opportunity for aftermarket companies to make some money off of this new mods situation with the GoPro Hero 8. I want to address a question that's happening right in our chat right now from Twitch. Let Me Eat Cake asks us, do you guys run a podcast? Yes, we do. If you look up Oh Yeah Podcast on any podcasting service, so Spotify, iTunes, anything that you use, you will find us. We have a bright neon logo. It says Oh Yeah Podcast with NALO and Phil. I am Phil. This is NALO. We post, I think it's every 2 weeks. We sometimes do these quickie episodes, and we are going to start streaming on Twitch our podcast live, and we're going to do both. We're going to post this later. We're going to do this live stream right now. We are also going to post to YouTube afterwards. It's going to be a cool situation.
This episode specifically comes out on the 21st. So you'll be able to go to YouTube or Google Play or Spotify at that point and see.
And rewatch our shiz.
Absolutely. But this is just an opportunity for people to be able to see the live stream and see us mess up.
And see it firsthand, boys. Firsthand.
Exactly.
Also, I wanted to preface that with, this is our first time doing this. If you have any suggestions or anything, please let us know in either the chat here, comments on YouTube. We also have a Discord set up, which I will also link in my Philo TV's page, so that you can get to us, give us some comments, give us some feedback on what you think may need to change with our setup.
All nice things only. I'm just kidding.
No, you can tell us how bad we are, or how bad I look, or how amazing NALO looks compared to me, whatever you'd like.
It's my blue eyes, because it definitely my body. I got the dad bod of the century.
I definitely.
That's what chicks are into.
Yeah, chicks are into that right now, and I definitely have that as well going on for me. But my mom always used to tell me I'm full of shit because I have brown eyes. So
well, it's true though, and not because you have brown eyes,
just because I actually am.
Yeah.
No, wonderful. Thanks, NALO. But
you got it.
So we're gonna get back to the podcast now.
Thanks, NALO, Let Me Eat Cake.
Yes, thanks for talking to us in the chat, and feel free to put any questions you have in there. And thank you for saying congratulations. We really appreciate it. Let's get back to our tech. We're our TECHtoberfest.
There's only a couple more things for GoPro. I mean, that was the biggest amazing thing for me, is that they're going to have mods on the thing.
Yeah, and that is something that I am hearing from you that is absolutely incredible, and I'm very excited to see you buy one and to see you put all the mods on it.
For sure. And I already have a bunch of GoPro like extenders and little attachments and things like that, and they built in the attachment to the camera now, so it just folds down from the bottom. You don't actually have to pull it off of anything. You don't have to reattach it before you do anything else. It just literally folds off of the bottom of the camera, and it's really amazing.
That's actually really cool. So all of your previous attachments, except for the cases, I guess, probably are going to work with this.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, and that's like one of the most lost things that people do when they're GoPro users. They lose their stupid little attachments, and you have to have a bunch of them because, to get the camera to go this way or that way or this way, you have to have the right little stupid elbow. But now that's built into the bottom of the camera, so you have one less of them to use.
So. It sounds exactly like getting started with something like this, where you have to get all the cables, you got to get all the mixers, you got to get all the lights.
Yeah. We started at what, like 9:45, and our intentions were start at 8:30. So
we had to do some setup. We had some technical diffs.
Oh man, it just happens. But so GoPro not only is stepping it up on the mods and coming out with something new on there, they're actually stepping up the technology that they've implemented into the camera itself. So they're going to have Hypersmooth 2.0. I don't know what that really means.
Well, if it's anything like Hypersmooth 1.0, I'm definitely excited.
Yeah, and I think that maybe it's just, makes things smoother. I don't know, it's hyper smooth.
Even more smooth than 1.0?
Yeah.
Incredible.
It should have been called super smooth or something. Super hyper smooth.
Super hyper smooth as Phil's
just
legs
like add,
after he shaves
add
them.
all the things
but
on there.
He doesn't do that, so I don't know why you would call it that.
Super hyper smooth. Phil, you know all about super hyper smooth.
Oh, dude, I'm like a swimmer, an Olympic swimmer. No, I'm just kidding. I am.
You might think because I have a beard.
You might think that because I have a beard, I am very hairy man.
Shaved.
Okay,
so they're going to come out with digital lens options. So this is something that you haven't seen on previous GoPros. There's 4 lens options, so you can choose to have it zoomed in or full wide angle. And a lot of times that people have chosen not to use a GoPro when doing things like content creating or filming a podcast or a video or a vlog, because the lens is such a fisheye lens that is great for an action camera. Great so you can see all the mountain when you're skiing down. But if you're just trying to film a vlog, it's not the optimum thing to use. So GoPro has finally realized this, and they've made a couple of lens options. So it will zoom in to a point it looks just like you're filming with a phone or a digital camera. There's almost no fisheye in it, and it's zoomed in a little bit and crops the sides. And it just really much more better.
Wait. Okay, I want to ask a question about this because I'm a pretty avid photographer. At least I've dabbled, and I'm pretty particular when it comes to specific wording you use on this.
Oh,
you said, at least in your notes, it says 4 digital lens options.
Yes.
Is this a software-based thing? Is this a actual optical-based thing? Do we know?
It is software only.
Controlled?
Yes, so there's no moving parts. It's not an optical zoom.
Okay.
It is digitally enhanced and options basically that you can choose.
Depending on what you like your quality to be, which some people, like MKBHD, don't take low quality for an answer. I mean,
no.
he actually just released an episode recently about quality, and if he downloaded and re-uploaded his videos to YouTube, what it actually does digitally to them. It was pretty incredible, and I think people should go watch that. But yeah, it's an important thing to think about when you're thinking about cameras and photography, is whether your lens is actual glass or whether it's actually digitally enhanced or optically zoomed.
My guess is
digitally zoomed.
That you're only going to be able to film in 4K at 100 frames per second because they have amazing slow-mo, and I think you can do 100 or 120 frames per second. I think that's only going to be on the biggest lens setting, where you have the full fisheye like a standard GoPro. And I think the quality probably does go down because it's zooming the picture. Mm-hmm. It just digitally zooming the picture.
I want to stop real quick and just say hi to Legendary Pete. Thanks for stopping by. We are the Oh Yeah Podcast, streaming on Philo TV. We possibly might think about going to another account, but for now, we're streaming on my channel right now. It's going to be uploaded to YouTube. We do a podcast, so stick around. We're talking about tech.
Hi, Legendary Pete. I'm NALO.
And I'm Phil. Oh.
So really, there's only just a couple of things that more the GoPro is going to do. Yeah. One impressive thing is that the GoPro is now waterproof up to 10 meters underwater, which for technology is a really crazy achievement. All that
I agree with
all
you.
that tiny little computers and wires and battery and all that kind of stuff to be able to be contained in such a small container and to also be waterproof is quite the achievement.
I agree with you. Legendary Pete, definitely ask a question. Just put it out there, and we will address it as soon as we can. We normally just we're going to go through our list of stuff that we want to talk about, what we want to go through, and then eventually we will pause, and we will address your question shortly afterwards. I want to finish up with what you're talking about here, and we will get to your question as soon as possible. So stick around and listen to us talk. I know we might not be the most beautiful people in the world, but we have some pretty good opinions on tech, and we are doing our TECHtoberfest episode.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that graphic? It took me 4 years to
literally 4.5 years.
Okay,
so there's a few more things. What do we got here?
There's just some stuff that I feel like content creators are not going to care about, and really people that are out riding dirt bikes and going snowboarding and jeeping off-road, or they're really not going to care about these also. But they're the forefront of this technology, so they want to show off some things. So they do this thing, a time warp, where it's a time lapse, but they call it time warp because they use the hypersmooth technology while you're filming a time lapse, and by tapping the screen, you can slow it down in production.
Wait, so you can do production on this device?
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible.
So it's I don't know if it's like during the time warp you tap when you want it to slow down, you tap when
you're doing production while you're actually filming.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
It is really, really crazy. And then Super Photo is really just a photo on Monster Energy drinks.
That's crazy.
It's just like an already in the moment, fully edited way. Your photo is really, I don't know what, saturated and full of color, and they turn the all the things up. They just turn everything up.
That's crazy.
So it just makes it some crazy photos in real time when you're taking a picture. So I don't know. It's really cool. But GoPro really stepped it up with the 8 is the main point here, and they just they're doing some amazing things with the 8 that they should have done with the 7. Shouldn't even have come out with the 7. You hear me, GoPro? Shouldn't even have done it. You did a Halo ODST on me, and I don't
like ODST'd us.
You ODST'd
and
me.
I hate it. All right, so NALO,
Yeah.
I have to discuss something with you, and
Yes,
I'm pretty embarrassed about this.
Okay.
I have to go to the bathroom because I don't know if you guys know this, but we've been drinking Oktoberfest Red Lodge ales. We are from Montana, so I'm going to go to the restroom. I would like you to address this man's question. If you don't know what a Razor 2 is, which I definitely don't know what it is, you could look it up, I guess, on your computer.
No. I got it.
Okay,
you
got it.
Bro.
I'm going to go to the restroom. Listeners, sorry about this, but we've been drinking way too much beer, I'll tell you that. See you guys.
All right, so Legendary Pete, you said, should I get the Razor 2 or the Samsung Note 9? And I don't know how you can actually compare the two phones together because the Razor 2, oh man, I just don't know. I think the Samsung Note 9 is kind of a worthless phone as far as, if you're stepping up from something or if you already have a Note, then the Samsung Note 9 is going to be a worthless upgrade for you, even all the way to the 10. The Note 10 actually had some really amazing things that they flagshipped on the 10. The 9 is just another one of those, hey, we need to come out with something kind of phone. So the real step was actually between 8 and 10. So I'd say the Samsung Note 9 is just out. And the Razr 2 is a really cool new device that I think that if you're really interested in either one of those, I would probably go with the Razr 2. And that way you can experience something that people haven't been able to do in a while. And the Razr 2 has that really cool bendy, flappy screen in the middle. And I think it's probably just going to be, I don't know, technology that's going to break. But it's going to be cool to have until it does. I don't know. It says Razr 2 is just as powerful as the GeForce RTX 1080. I don't know what that is, actually. I'm thinking about it.
Oh, I do.
I
know what that is.
The GeForce RTX 1080?
Yeah, so the GeForce RTX is actually not a 1080 version. It's a 2080 version. So we got to just correct him there just a little bit.
That's all right.
But the GeForce RTX 2080 is an incredible graphics card. So it's what we put in these PCs, these wonderful PCs that we are streaming from. They allow you to game at higher frame rates, all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty incredible that a phone is supposedly as powerful as a GeForce RTX 2080 is what I assume you're probably trying to say. If you're not, you're probably trying to say GTX 2080 because there's a big difference there. But that's pretty cool. I didn't know that about the Razr 2.
Yeah, and that kind of solidifies my choice with going with the Razr 2 because the Samsung Note, I just feel like it's nothing. The Note 9 was a fail for me. Nothing special about it. The Note 10 is where it's at if you want to get a new Note. I still have, like, in my pocket, I have the Note 8, and I've had it for years. I had the Note 7, then Samsung took it away. Mm-hmm. So I got a Note 8, and it's a better version of the Note 7 and still an amazing phone. The Note 10 didn't have anything special for me to want to upgrade to it. It is a much better phone, but it wasn't so amazing that I wanted to upgrade. And then the Note 9 is not even a question.
So I think your recommendation was not the Note 9, or was the Note 9?
No, I said Razr 2 probably be the best option because it's new, it's cool technology. It will be much more fun to have, and it's cool to say I got a Razr 2 at the very least of all the things you get to say. Hey, check out my Razr 2.
All right, so I think to wrap this up because we're getting to the end here. Yeah. We're gonna answer Legendary Pete's, or we're gonna talk about Legendary Pete's comments here that he's commenting on Twitch here. So if you wanna find us on Twitch, you can. It's twitch.tv/philotv. Actually, it's I don't even know what it is. Twitch.com/philotv. Twitch.tv. Whatever it is.
Twitch
Anyways,
search Philotv.
Yeah, just search it. Whatever.
PHI.
Got the other one there.
OW.
He says it has 1 terabyte of storage. Starts off with 64 gigabytes and an 8. I don't know what that means.
Gigabyte SSD. That's what he meant. 8 gig SSD.
64. Wait. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm confused. It has
gigabytes.
Yeah. So it has a 1 terabyte storage. Starts off with 64 gigs.
Thanks, Let Me Eat Cake, for linking the
8 gigabyte
Twitch.
SSD.
I appreciate that a lot.
That's pretty cool. Thank you for linking my own Twitch account
now you can
my
read
chat.
it.
Yeah. It is www.twitch.tv/philotv. But yeah, so we basically, I mean, he's just giving us some specs on that Razr 2.
Yeah,
I think
is
what that is.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap this episode up. We talked about all of our TECHtoberfest stuff. We were drinking beer the whole time. That's why I had to take a little restroom break.
I mean, I only drank like half of my glass, but I was talking a lot, and I don't know. You're just a fast drinker too,
dude.
I like to enjoy the taste, and you're
so,
just like, whoa.
I think we're going to wrap up the podcast portion of this. If you are listening on the podcast portion of this, you can find us on any of our social media sites.
Absolutely.
Just look up Oh Yeah Podcasts. There are some other Oh Yeah Podcasts out there, but we're the only cool ones, so you should just listen to us. So we're going to wrap that up. Thank you for listening on our podcast section of this.
Join us next time on Twitch.
Yeah, join us next time on twitch.tv/philotv, and we will talk to you guys in the next one. We're going to continue talking to our chat because it looks like we have one more question.
Absolutely.
So next time, tune in on Twitch, and you'll get a little bit more out of us.
Peace out, podcasters.
Peace out, dudes.